Previously on Endless Midnight.
You shot me, you son of a...
Naked man, come back to the shed.
I'm not a doctor, per se.
How about we get you a bit of a drunk's breakfast? How about that?
Do any of y'all happen to know an Isabel Hawk?
Yeah, we know her. You looking for her?
I think she's looking for me.
Korine's, sort of in charge.
Hector, I've got something I've been working on.
These all run on slag.
Oh, yes.
You don't think that's dangerous?
Mulligan!
I'm guessing you're Isabel.
This is the only place in the whole free world that I know of that you can get this with something with a little umbrella in it.
Like you know, the drink menu is right up there.
Ready to party! Violet, man
Hi.
at table, give me big eyes. Do not like.
Well, here's some new acquaintances.
God damn, boy, you are the biggest sumbitch I've ever seen in my life.
You're a poet of the universe there, Jimbo.
70 years ago, two rival nations on the continent of Scythia went to war. Their tactics were savage, and thousands died on both sides. The war raged for 20 years until the wizards on one side, no one remembers which, created a magical weapon. They were playing with powers that they didn't understand. And the rupture killed millions and nearly blotted out the sun. The survivors had to learn a new way of life, a harder one. The only bright spot now is a town near the crater, a neon oasis in the darkness. This is Endless Midnight.
Wizards got secrets.
Korine sits up a little straighter. She visibly stiffens when he says that. Brute, I really have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, look how old you are. You were definitely alive before the rupture. I wonder what you had to do with all this. Speaking of which, you're so old, I bet I could snap your neck like a twig.
I rock up off the wall and just very slowly begin making my way over.
After a beat or two, Brute's hand shoots out towards Korine. Now, whether he was just trying to intimidate her or if he was actually going to try to do it, we'll never know. Because when his hand gets close to her, the air around her shimmers, and his hand slips off to the side. Korine cocks an eyebrow at him, looks over at Violet. Violet?
She reaches to a nearby, I guess, bottle of bourbon or something that's readily accessible to her, and basically grabs it and just like launches it at the guy. And basically she is casting catapult. And
Oh wow.
so
Okay.
she is literally grabbing this thing and just like launching it with all her might at this guy. And so he's going to need to make because it's going to be a straight shot right at his face, and he's going to need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. What happens if he fails it?
If he fails it, the object strikes the target and stops moving. When the object strikes something, the object and what it strikes each take 3d8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, I rolled really nicely. That's 18 bludgeoning damage.
Ooh.
Okay. All right, so Korine gave you the signal and you immediately just launched a liquor bottle at Brute.
Right.
Which smashes upside his head.
Yes.
And
She's gonna continue to like finish her move basically too, because that's just her standard action, her one action. But she's going to now move. She has one of those bars where you can kind of go under it, And so she's gonna like move right under the bar out, and basically from her back, like these handles pop out, where she immediately grabs them from both of her hands. She grabs back, grabs two handles, and basically pulls out this two-piece warhammer that is actually made from like her breasts. So she actually like pulls out a piece of her, like her breasts literally come from the back, come forward, and she assembles them into one warhammer.
Oh,
with
that's
each
pretty cool.
end being her her white violet breasts.
Redford is leaning back on the bar, just still kind of taking everything in, and he says, "Well, shit, that was cool."
All right, everybody, roll initiative.
All right. Oh.
Okay, so Mulligan's gonna be last. Sounds like.
Oh.
What'd you get there, Mulligan?
Okay, a 14.
Okay, that's not too bad. All right. How about Ternock?
8.
All right.
It's got to get up from lounging on the benches.
I think that's fair.
How about Redford?
That's an 11.
Okay.
Shit.
And Violet?
Violet got a 15.
Okay. When the bottle hits Brute, it knocks him off his bar stool. Korine quickly stands up from hers and starts to back up. Remember, Violet, don't kill him. And then Jimbo, who is still at the table where you arm wrestled, he pushes back from the table. He sort of drops off the chair because his feet weren't touching the ground, if you recall.
Yeah.
And when he does, the chair goes flying behind him. He looks around. He makes eye contact with you, Mulligan. And he smiles. And he goes, "Ooh-wee!" And he starts running at you full speed. Make a dexterity saving throw.
All right. Laughing the whole time. Oh. That's a 6.
Ooh. Jimbo comes running across the bar. It's a little startling. And when he does, when he gets near you, he launches himself into the air and hits you right in the chest. And you both go ass over tea kettle through some tables.
All right.
So mark down 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh shit. Okay. That's okay.
And then it is Violet's turn.
Okay. Violet sees this exchange, and she's not happy with that. So she's going to use her warhammer, which she infuses every day. I mean, they're on her, you know.
Okay.
So they're kind of each. She normally infuses her eyes, gives herself goggles of night, and her warhammer.
Okay.
So she moves into who? What was his name again? The one who attacked.
Brute.
Brute.
Or Jimbo.
Oh, are you looking for the one who
Jimbo.
attacked Korine or the one who attacked Mulligan?
Well, how far apart are they?
Mulligan's probably 15 feet away from you. On the floor with a dwarf on top of him.
And where's Brute?
Brute is at your feet.
Oh, Brute is down.
Well, he's on his ass on the ground. He's looking around like he doesn't know what the hell happened.
But he's still alive.
Yeah.
So I haven't killed him. All right, so I haven't killed him. I just kind of really let him know to like this is, you know, Brute, this is my bar. That does not happen here. And I would say she will move. You know, she's taught Brute a lesson. I think, hopefully, maybe, and she's going to move then to Jim Bob.
Okay.
and smack him with her titty hammer.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And
Roll
it's
some
going to
damage.
be doing 7, and I'm going to do non-lethal here because I don't want to kill them, but I certainly want to put them down to knock them out. So maybe like a good whack in the gut to take out some of that wind.
Okay, so Violet, you come from under the bar. You see Mulligan go down with Jimbo on top of him. You make your way over there, pushing tables and things out of the way. And then you take a swing with your hammer, which catches Jimbo in the ribs on his side.
Now you back off as well.
Over to the other end of the bar, these guys are all wearing long coats to protect them from the dust in the air as they travel, right? And one of them who looks younger than the others, Ternock would definitely notice him because he was keeping an eye on these two that had pistols. He looks younger than the others. He looks scared to death. And he pulls the pistol out of his pants and starts waving it around. The guy next to him grabs hold of the pistol. What'd I tell you about bringing guns inside like that? And yanks it away from him. Throws it on the floor. He walks over towards Redford, and he just takes a swing at you.
All right.
Yeah.
Redford casually gets off of his leaning post on the bar as the guy walks up.
So he throws the gun on the floor as he's walking towards you, and he throws a haymaker right at your head. And
Okay.
you put an arm up and just right into his elbow, bang, and you just stop it from making contact.
Okay.
And then it's Mulligan's turn.
Well, hell. All right. How's Jimbo looking? That slap from the hammer take him out of commission, or he's still causing a ruckus?
No, he looks annoyed.
I just
God damn it, Violet!
I look up at Violet and I just flash a big old toothy grin. I think I got this one handled, ma'am. And I will push myself to my feet and I will draw my 2 hand axes from my belt and flip them around so that it's the blunt side facing out instead of the bladed side. And I'm going to use my dual wielder feet to just try and pop upside Jimbo's head.
Okay.
First one's going to be a natural one.
How about the second?
The second one's going to be not great. A natural 6, so I don't think it's going to hit.
Is Mulligan left or right-handed?
He's ambidextrous through necessity.
Okay, so I guess it doesn't matter which side the one was on. So you stand up. You tower over Jimbo.
Mm-hmm.
You're twice as tall as he is. Maybe more.
Easily. Yep.
And you try to just kind of thunk him on the head with your hand axe. And he just grabs onto it and chucks it across the room.
What the hell?
Now, Mulligan, there's no need for no weapons in here.
You right. And I drop the one that I still have and just knuckle up for the next round. I'll stick it back in my belt. Knuckle up.
So the kid who pulled the pistol out of his pants and looks really scared, when the other guy took his gun and threw it on the ground, he loses his nerve and bolts. And he goes towards the door. Then it's Redford's turn.
Redford is gonna kind of put his hand calmly on the guy's shoulder in front of him, and he's gonna say, "Friend, you might want to go check on that youngin' over there. This is let's just say today is not your day." And a ringing bell sound kind of fills the air around this guy's head as I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead.
Okay.
So I'm going to need a wisdom saving throw from him, or he's going to take 1d8 necrotic damage.
Can anybody else hear that or just him?
A Dolores Bell fills the air around the creature for a moment. So I think with the confusion in the bar, I don't think it's going to be a really
Maybe
big
not,
scene.
but he's gonna hear it real well
Hmm.
because, yeah, I failed that save.
All right, so he's going to take a hard 4 damage,
All right.
and then, I'll get ready to punch him next time.
One of the guys who was sitting at the table with Jimbo earlier, before the arm wrestling contest, he was sort of milling over towards the door. When the young guy runs out, he goes to follow him. And then it's Ternock's turn.
Who is the guy that was giving Ternock eyes earlier when he first walked into the bar?
The guy who hasn't reacted yet is looking directly at you, Ternock. He looks trepidatious. That's a word, right? Trepidatious.
Oh, yeah, that's a word.
Give him
It is
that
now.
tongue thing, Ternock.
Ternock slowly and carefully stands up from his bar stools, finishes his ale, slurps up the rest of his tomato wedge, looks over at the guy that's still sitting at the booth,
Uh-huh.
and he just scurries over as quick as he can, and he gives him a little flick of the tongue,
Okay.
and then gives him a nice bite right on the collarbone.
All right, roll your attack.
All right. So that'll be a 12.
All right, so when you bite into his shoulder, collarbone area, he starts shrieking. Ah! Ah! Ah!
So I did use primal savagery, so the bite is supposed to have like acid damage with it.
Go ahead,
But
roll.
either way, he backs up from the bite, and he kind of gives him almost a loving look, and he says, "That love bite. Now leave bar."
That is exactly what he does. He stands up out of his chair, gets his back as close to the chairs and tables as he can to get away from you, and he bolts right out through the front door.
That's amazing.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Redford kind of sees the guy shriek and turns to Ternock and says, "Oh, damn it, Ternock, we talked about biting."
So, on the ground, Brute has come to his senses somewhat. He gets up tenderly on his feet, kind of holding his head, and there's blood running down his face. He looks around. All right, stand down. Jimbo, what are you doing? And then it's Jimbo's turn.
Oh boy.
Jimbo is like, he's standing in front of you. I mean, I'm serious. The top of his head is below your belt buckle. Okay, like he's much shorter than you, but he's looking up at you with this crazy look on his face. But when Brute starts yelling, he looks over. I'm sorry, Mulligan. I guess the fight's over.
Oh, well, shit. All right. Go
Maybe
get
we
my
can,
fucking hand axe.
maybe we can have another one later.
All right. I guess so. If you think you can handle it.
Well, I don't know. There's only one way to find out. Jimbo looks around the bar, and he looks up at Mulligan. He's like, damn, I'm so hungry I could eat the ass end of a minstrel skunk.
Oh, well. That could be arranged.
Violet basically takes apart her warhammer and like transforms it back into her chest.
Cool.
Back into her back and then forward into her chest.
That's cool.
I'm going to go pick up my hand axe from where it got slung, kind of near Violet's feet, and as I do, I'm going to shove it in my belt and look at her and say, "Please tell me you call that thing the knocker."
We can call it whatever you like. It's saved me quite a bit in the past. So That's actually a very fitting nickname to it. I like it very much.
I'd be flattered if you used it, man.
Well, there we go. It's
Redford,
found a new name.
Redford pats his assailant on the shoulder. Again, the same hand, and he says, "Well, sorry about that, brother. I thought we'd have a much longer fight. Maybe next time, I guess. I'm too old for this anyway." And he just turns back to the bar.
He says nothing. He backs away slowly.
All right.
How's Korine looking? Is she accepting this parlay?
She's mostly looking at Brute, who is holding his head, and he says, "Violet, is that room still good? I've got a splitting headache."
It serves you right for starting things in my place.
All right. No need to rub it in.
Yeah, there's plenty of space here for you to crash.
Just remember, bar for beer, not biting.
Thank you. That's exactly right.
I think you should learn to heed your own advice.
DM, I have a question for you. I didn't want to interrupt as things were kicking off.
Absolutely.
But when Brute accused Korine of keeping secrets, and especially when he mentioned her having been around before the rupture, her posture changed. Would it be possible to retroactively do an insight check for that moment to see if he struck a nerve there? Yeah, I'm a fighter. I've got great insight. This will go perfectly. Oh, yeah, I'm not even going to bother adding the modifier. I rolled a 5.
Well, I mean, her posture did change.
Yeah. All right, cool.
So he wanders towards the back, where the rooms are, and Jimbo comes up to Mulligan. Say, Mulligan.
Yeah, what's that, Jimbo?
Is there anywhere to eat around here?
Well, I'm not exactly from here, but I could ask my lizard friend. He seems to know where all the good bites are.
Yeah, I was kind of afraid you were going to say that.
Well, hey, Ternock.
Huh?
Where can we get some good food? Or, Miss Violet, do you serve food here?
No, sorry, I do not. This bar is only for drinking.
Oh, right.
Well, I know that today you have been shot. You have gardened. You have gotten drunk and been in a bar fight, but it's only noon.
Oh, my God.
And Ternock and Redford know that lunch is being served at the mess hall around now.
Ternock, you know where we can get some grub.
Yes. Big tables, big building, lots of food at the mess hall.
Sounds good to me. How about you, Jimbo?
Well, shit, that sounds all right.
You ain't gonna start nothing, right?
Although, you know what? I smell like the north end of a southbound mule. Maybe I should wash up first.
Yeah,
I have
guess I'm not
showers
much
by
better.
my mules.
And Mulligan sort of looks himself over. He's been on the road for a couple days before getting the absolution, and he ain't bathed either. So, yeah, I think I'm right along there with you, Jimbo. But I don't know if we're gonna find any cushy establishments for the likes of us around here.
Well, last time I was here, and mind you, it's been about 6 months since I was here. But last time they had these shower stalls underneath the water towers. Maybe we could head over there.
That sounds pretty nice, Jimbo. I think we'll make a day of it. Ternock, you want to come?
Always ready to shower.
It's good to get the slag off here and there. You don't want to let it sit on you.
Right.
Can't tell you how excited I am to see the Ternock Jimbo Mulligan shower scene.
Oh, we're doing the anime bathhouse episode right now.
Oh yeah. Just very conveniently placed steam clouds. It's great.
Yeah. All right. So you guys leave the vault, and you head over towards the water tower. There's 3 water towers in Absolution on opposite sides, basically. So you head to the closest one, and there are shower stalls built in underneath it. They're pretty rudimentary. You step inside, you pull a lever, and water pours down on you.
Probably
So when
not hot.
When you get there, Jimbo is completely shameless. He just starts stripping all his clothes off.
Yep.
Ternock hardly had any clothes to begin with, so there's not too much of a startling difference there.
Uh-huh. So you notice about Jimbo, though, that for one, he's covered in tattoos. And 2, he's ripped. He's a little short dude, but man, it's got to be dense. You know what I'm saying?
Are we gathering that mechanically is he a dwarf or a halfling?
Yes, he's a dwarf.
Dwarf. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mulligan's used to communal bathing arrangements, so he will strip down too, and he'll use the shower water to also sort of rinse his clothes out while he's bathing.
Damn, that's smart. Maybe I should do that too.
Well, maybe you should.
I got slag jammed in every inch of these duds here.
Big responsibility wearing those cloths. Must clean them often, huh?
Suddenly turn out your extensive level of nudity makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
I mean, not everybody has a hide like that. You know, we're squishy. See this? Look at that.
Soft skin.
Don't you be getting no ideas, Ternock. You get them teeth inside them gums.
What's Redford doing? Is he just like watching from a distance, perving out, or what?
He's Master Roshi.
Redford, I think probably hung around the bar for a second, made sure everything was kosher there. But I think he, at about exactly noon, his tummy rumbles. He's on a very strict schedule, and just starts heading towards the mess hall. Probably by the showers on the way.
Okay.
Ternock gives him a big wave as he passes by the showers.
You guys,
Redman!
You guys need a place to dry those clothes? You hang them up on my forge. That fire goes all day.
What we gonna wear to the damn?
Well, that's how.
I don't know. I got a couple of aprons lying around. Grab something.
All right. Sure. Why the fuck not?
Well, I don't see why I gotta wear anything, but you know.
You don't.
I guess this is a polite society, ain't it?
Well, look at you, Jimbo. You be putting people off their damn appetites.
Well, that is the rudest thing anybody said to me in the last hour.
Big man, big ideas.
I like this fucking lizard. All right.
I'll just wring mine out. It's fine.
As
I
we're
don't want to
finishing up,
chase.
as we're finishing up the shower, Ternock, he goes to the side, and there's actually a small amount of there's a couple of rocks and some newer vegetables that he's already skinned. That it's almost like bars of soap, just so you can get those really gritty places. So he hands Mulligan a radish, and then he hands Jimbo a nice rock that's been slightly polished, so that you guys can kind of get them hard to reach places.
Oh, like a pumice stone. I like it.
With a radish. All right. I'm just imagining the radish spirit from Spirited Away looking on in horror. But
skincare routine, immaculate.
Yeah. I'll use it because that's cushier than anything I'm used to. But I will take Redford up on his offer because if I remember correctly, his forge is not terribly far.
No, not terribly.
I'll go hang my clothes up to dry at his forge and grab some of his spares. But I'll keep my armor on. I'll put my armor back on over the extra clothes.
Okay.
It's just leather.
Let's grab some grub.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so you guys head over to the mess hall. It smells pretty good. They've got big, like a big cauldron with a fire underneath it, and there are guys stirring the pot. And you notice there's a line, and once you make your way through the line, it's spoon out some stew for you, and here you go.
And as you go through the line, you kind of see poorly drawn drawings as you keep going in of the quote-unquote food pyramid, but it's really just like a couple of potatoes, and it shows like different cuts of meat, and it's a very rudimentary food pyramid, but it's kind of supposed to symbolize having multiple types of food. And then the final board that you see is drawn on with chalk, and it just says like special of the day, and this day is carrot and potato soup.
The whole time we're passing the drawings of all these different kinds of food, Mulligan looks thoroughly impressed. Big eyes. You can see him sort of licking his chops subconsciously every now and then.
Well, they got long tables in there. Not everybody sits down to eat. Some of them wander off with their food or whatever. But so you guys find a place to sit down. Jimbo sits right next to you, Mulligan. And
Redford's already sitting down with 2 bowls in front of him.
all right. In the stew, there's potatoes and carrots, which you've never seen a carrot before. You don't know what it tastes like, but until today, you've never seen one. You know what a potato tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
So there's potatoes in there, and there's some kind of meat in it, like real stringy sort of meat in it.
Hey, Ternock. What the fuck is this?
You notice that across the table from you, maybe a few people down, is the stable master, Ternock. And he hears you say that. Well, I'm afraid old Banky just gave up the ghost yesterday.
And Ternock stands up and he takes his glass of water and he puts it in the air. Banky! And then he just has a nice drink and sits back down. Ah, beautiful, beautiful horse.
Well, waste not, want not. And he tucks in.
That's what I'm saying, and I will follow
Redford.
suit.
Redford holds up his glass and says, "We all go somewhere." Or pats his belly.
I'm gonna very hesitantly take my first bite of carrot and chew it a little bit. It don't really taste like much, and it's kind of mushy, but if it keeps you going in the waist, it's worth eating. And I'll keep tucking in.
Okay. So when you guys finish lunch, Ternock, I imagine, would probably want to return to the field, right?
Yep. I do
Okay.
go to the kitchen briefly to check on, what foods they need for dinner and everything, but then I'm going to head to the field.
Okay. Are you going to make Mulligan go with you?
No. He is free to go.
So what do you want to do there, Mulligan?
Probably see if Redford will take me back to his forge and sharpen up my weapons a little bit. Help me do some maintenance on them.
Maybe
don't
your
have
clothes. Maybe your clothes are dry. Okay. Well, as you and Redford are making your way back to the forge, Ternock heads off to the fields, and you can see Korine coming north up the road towards you.
Is she alone?
She is alone, and she sort of waves at you and Redford.
I'm sort of nod my head and alter course to
Okay.
meet up with her.
Grin. Oh, always exciting when you come around.
Redford, I've been thinking about your problem.
Okay. Which one?
Well, so what we think the problem is that when you heat the metal to a certain temperature, it can absorb the slag from the atmosphere, right?
Right. Haven't been able to make anything useful in a long, long time.
What if we could filter the air inside the forge?
Just like you're filtering the water, and Ternock's filtering that dirt out
Yeah,
there.
it's yes, but it's a bit of an engineering problem because I don't really know how to filter air. But presumably, if we could remove the slag from the air, when the metal heats up, it won't absorb any, right?
Right. That You know, I never thought about that. That could work.
Why don't you think about it and let me know what you come up with?
Okay. All right. Well, Corinne, that sounds pretty good. I'd like to be making something again. I kind of gave up on all of that, but I'll and he kind of stands up a little straighter. He's like, "It's a pretty good idea. Thank you."
Excellent. Mulligan, can I talk to you for a moment?
Yes, ma'am, of course.
So, I have a small problem of my own.
I'm listening.
Well, in trading with Ickerman, I may have overextended our food resources.
How significantly are you thinking?
Well, it's not that significant, but it would be nice to supplement our food sources, our food resources. Now, for the longest time, I've wanted to make a connection with the tooth.
I
know that the tooth does a lot of hunting, and through some extraordinary circumstances, I find myself a little short on food, and I have an ambassador from the tooth standing right here in front of me.
I look to either side of myself. You mean me?
Absolutely.
An ambassador.
You seem like quite a smart young man.
Well, that's rather flattering, ma'am, but I'm a fighter. I don't know if I'm the right person for this job.
We haven't had real ambassadors since before the rupture, but as I recall, you needed to be a bit of a fighter to do that job.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is, I don't really know how warmly the Tooth would welcome the idea of trading with Absolution, since y'all have been too high and mighty to pay us any notice before, and a lot of the people back home think you're kind of primarily responsible for the state of the world today, so...
I understand, but what if we could simultaneously make each other's lives better? I'm not talking about sending you empty-handed.
What would you propose?
Well, I can send you with a wagon load of the lighting that we have here. Would they be interested in something like that at the Tooth?
I'm honestly not sure. It's all magic, isn't it?
Every day it becomes less and less magical to me, if that makes any sense.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, your place is a lot nicer than the Tooth. I think they might appreciate a dose of that. But I can't make any promises. I don't speak for them. But I can try, if that's what you're asking me.
I want to make it clear that I am asking you. You can say no. And I would completely understand. Things might be a little lean around here for a while, but that's okay.
See, the thing is, I know, especially after spending the morning here, that one thing would drastically improve the quality of life of people back home. It's more convincing them to see that point that I'm worried about. But I will try, if that's an offer you're making.
Excellent. We can fill up a wagon with some of our batteries and some of our wiring, we're calling it, and some of our bulbs. I can show you how to hook it up.
Yes, ma'am.
It's quite easy. You can take whoever you want with you.
I have a few folks in mind.
If you were to take I'm sure that you traveled here by yourself and no trouble. But taking an entire wagon that way might draw attention.
Yes, ma'am, I can see your point. When would you like me to leave?
As soon as you're ready.
All right. I'll talk to my new acquaintances and see if I can get everybody on board. Would you be willing to spare Violet if I asked her?
Violet is her own person.
Yeah, well, I know she serves a rather key role around here. I wanted to get your blessing first.
I trust Violet to know what Violet needs to do.
Fair enough. Korine, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Back in the bar there, Brute made the rather astute observation that, with all due respect, you've seen your share of summers. Were you around before the rupture?
I was 30 years old when the rupture happened.
You're a wizard, right?
Oh, yes.
Did you have a hand in what happened?
Not as such. I am aware of what happened. I personally knew people that made it happen. But I would like to say that I was against it.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Oh, my keen insight. Okay, I rolled a 16. Hold on. This might
Okay.
actually be something. I can't remember if
Mulligan's
it's...
back.
Is it negative?
You have a negative to
It's
insight?
not. It's not negative, so it's just a
Right.
16.
Okay. When they had the idea to make a weapon, I was against it. I saw the plans. I saw what they were going to do, and I did not think that they could control the amount of power that they were using. I'm sad to say it turned out that I was right.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since then, and Korine gestures to the tree behind you, the willow tree,
Mm-hmm.
I came to this area 30 years ago to try to find out if there was a way to reverse what happened. And as I was traveling through this area, I found a sapling growing out of the ground, right there in the middle of all this dust and chaos. And this is where we founded Absolution. Ternock has supplied it with clean water, and the lights supply it with a sort of sunlight. And you can see that it has grown straight and healthy. The tree is kind of our mascot. We're a symbol of everything that we stand for. We're about life and rebirth. If I can, I will return the entire continent to the state of this tree.
Maybe all wizards aren't as bad as I thought. And I will sort of lean down, since she's kind of hunched and tiny, and extend my hand to her.
She reaches out one of her hands, and she, again, kind of shakes one of your fingers because your hands are so damn big.
Ma'am, I'll do whatever I can to bring some food back for your people.
Well, I thank you. And again, it is not dire. I don't want you to do anything to jeopardize your standing at the tooth. It would
I
just be a
appreciate it.
big help.
Understood.
Excellent. Then I'll get a wagon loaded up. Perhaps tomorrow you could set out.
Do you mind telling Isabel if she can't find me right away that's where I've gone?
If I know Isabel, she will find you.
All right. Yes, ma'am. All right.
And she kind of wanders off towards the tower.
I look back to Redford and sort of prop my hands on my hips and cock my head to the side. You got plans for tomorrow?
Buddy, I haven't made a plan for tomorrow in about 30 years.
Good. How you feel about a trek out to the Tooth?
Haven't been to the Tooth in a long time, but I've been here for about a year now, and it's about as long as I've ever been anywhere, so I'm ready to go.
All right. But first, let's see if you can help me out with these hand axes. They're a little pitted.
Oh yeah, his face kind of lights up. I would be happy to.
I will follow Redford to his forge.
Cool. Yeah, he'll head on down and sharpen up those hand axes. And Redford starts while he's there, kind of making a little pack of his own equipment. You know, if he knows he's heading out, getting some of his essential tools ready to go.
Cool.
Today playing in the vault, it's Uncrossed by Korine.
Does Ternock usually come here after he finishes in the fields?
Ternock kind of shows up. Sometimes it's every day. Sometimes I don't see him for 3 weeks. But it wouldn't be hard to go find him if you wanted to.
Yeah, I was gonna see if he and maybe Violet will come out to the tooth with us.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Actually, I think that would be good to have a variety of help.
All right, I'm sure we can find him. At least find Ternock at the mess hall at dinner time, if nothing else.
Sure. Yeah. You gonna talk to that sister of yours again? I don't know how it went the first time, but.
Yeah, she's supposed to find me sometime after she finishes up at the tower. She's got her magical abilities. I'm sure she'll figure something out to find me. I'm also not hard to spot in a crowd. And he kind of gestures to his rather ripped, almost 7-foot tall figure.
Yeah, that's true. You got that right. Listen, Mulligan, if you're gonna travel with me, I know I've heard you say. I know you're not a fan of magic, so just thought I would let you know there's a little bit of magic floating around this forge. I want to be straightforward with you. I've been known to use a spell or two, heat some metal, and get this thing going.
You don't say.
I just I wanted to be upfront with you. I know a lot of people, especially from the tooth, all around are not comfortable with it, but just fact of life.
I appreciate the transparency, and I must admit, since I got here, my perspectives have started to shift a little bit, but hard to undo a lifetime of hearing one thing and then come in and start seeing another, you know?
Believe me, Mulligan, I've seen all kinds, and there's some magical wounds. They have a way of sticking with you.
You got some of those yourself?
I've been around a long time. Seen a lot of bad things, and a couple of good things too, I guess. But I've learned to stay away from as much of the magic as I can, while still, taking a small part of it. This forge, there's not a lot of fuel around, so I got to heat it somehow.
That's fair enough. Well, for what it's worth, it seems like you've carved out a nice little place for yourself here, and you seem like a decent enough man.
Thank you very much. I suppose we'll go find Ternock now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so you head out towards the fields, and you do see laborers out there. They're digging, they're hoeing, they're planting. And you don't see Ternock right off in the field.
Can we ask some of the laborers around if they've seen him?
Yeah, there is a woman who is she has a basket, and she's going along one of the farrows, and she's meticulously putting a seed at a time into the farrows.
Sort of a smack Redford on the shoulder. I'm a stranger around these parts, and I have a tendency of startling folks that aren't expecting to see me, so maybe you should go ask.
All right. Happy to do it. Call out in the field. That's Marlene. Hey, Marlene. You seen Ternock around here?
I'm glad you named her, because, okay. Marlene straightens up and sees you walking towards her. She might have done a double take, but she's already seen Mulligan around. So,
okay.
Oh, hey there, Redford. How are you doing?
Well, been a heck of a day, Marlene, but it's good to see you around. Blushes a little bit.
It's real good to see you.
We're just out here looking for Ternock. Field's looking good.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I do my best. I hope I'm doing this right. Ternock showed me, but he kind of did it really fast. Anyway,
Well,
I saw him headed towards the shed a little while ago.
Okay. Thank you kindly. We'll go check out over there. You're doing great work. Keep it up, Marlene.
Thanks, Redford.
Oh my god.
He turns around,
Oh my god.
quickly walks away back to Mulligan.
Mulligan's got his arms crossed and is just grinning like a cat.
So it sounds like we should we'll check out the shed right away.
Marlene, huh?
He just keeps walking.
Mulligan will follow.
Okay, so you guys go to the shed, which is it's at the south end, across the road from the vault. There's the stables, and then the shed's next to it where they keep the gardening implements. The door isn't locked, anything like that, but you go inside, and it appears to be empty, but there is a trapdoor in the floor.
I wouldn't know anything about this, would I?
No, you've been around. You probably would.
Okay. So I guess maybe we'll check the cellar. They saw Ternock heading over here. It's worth a shot. Lift up the trapdoor and start to descend down in.
Okay. You open the trapdoor, and there are some stairs that go down about 10 feet. And when you get to the bottom of the stairs, it's very dark down there, but you can hear Ternock talking.
It's actually a light singing that you hear. And he's just singing, big stem, little stem, big hats, no hats.
Hey, Ternock! Ternock, you in here?
Who goes?
Just Redford and Mulligan here to see you.
Do you have any light with you?
We can get some light.
No.
Oh, no light. Okay,
No light.
No light.
Then come on down.
All right. I cannot see in the dark, but I'll kind of close the trapdoor, I guess, and fumble my way around.
So you go down the stairs, and it's almost pitch black. There's a little light filtering through the boards in the trapdoor.
Yeah,
So,
it's dim light. You can still
the
see.
stairs. But you get down there, and you can see that there is a large room dug down into the ground underneath the shed. And at one end, you see food storage. There's potatoes down there, and carrots, and onions, and things you wouldn't want to spoil. And then it's sort of cavernous on the other end, and you can see mushrooms being grown. And Ternock is down there amongst the mushrooms.
Singing.
Huh.
Mulligan, I gotta be honest, this is all new to me. Ternock, what do you got going on down here?
Just hanging out with a bunch of fun guys.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I just took a point of psychic damage. Oh, boy.
Ternock, your mastery over language has always befuddled me.
And he continues to show them around his kind of a mushroom cellar. And you start to understand what the purpose of the song was. So, see, these have hats. No hats. Fat. Skinny. All fun guys.
It's been a long time since I've seen a mushroom. Are these for eating?
Some.
What about the other ones?
They make you feel fun. Some make you feel bad.
Do you know exactly which ones are which?
Still learning.
Oh, boy.
All right.
I imagine this cellar's got like kind of a low ceiling, so Mulligan's just kind of hunched over, just trying to be very careful not to step on anything he shouldn't.
I gotta be honest, Ternock, you, I think, surprise me every single time I see you. All right, well, this is pretty cool setup you got going on down here.
One day I can show the town.
Mhm.
Right now, still under research.
Okay. Well, I think Mulligan's got something to ask you, I think.
Yeah, we're
Hello, big man.
hello, little lizard. We're making a trek back to my home, the Tooth, here in the next day or so. Work something out for Miss Korine. I want to see if you wanted to come along, see the likes of where I come from.
Party?
I don't know. We're not really a partying type, but we definitely brew our own hooch, and it's nothing to scoff at. So, if for no other reason, it's worth experiencing that.
Will we be biting or no biting?
Not in the tooth. If we run into trouble on the road, I would love to see just what those teeth can do.
I was gonna say, Mulligan, from what I've gathered, and Ternock, correct me if I'm wrong, but party and bite are kind of synonymous for you.
Most days.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to work on that.
I will help with anything you need.
Oh, that's much obliged. I was wondering if you would be willing to trade me for a couple carrots to take back with me. See, we don't really have those there, and I think bringing something nice might strengthen my position of negotiating for Miss Korine. I can trade. I got a dagger. I got some cool rocks that I found.
No need. Oh, wait. Rocks?
I mean, yeah. And I'll pull out just some of the more unusual shades and colors of stone that I found out on my scouting routes and would pocket just out of pure boredom and extend them over.
Ternock very excitedly takes those and grabs a sack full of carrots and mushrooms from a couple of different spots, which means they're all mixed in together. And let me lead out of cellar.
Redford kind of kicks the dirt a bit. So who's watching after your fungi and the fields here?
No one knows of fungi but Big Man and Red Man.
Okay.
But Fields, Marlene.
Marlene.
She's very smart.
Seems like a fine, capable woman. Good.
Big brain.
Big brain. Right. Just checking. We should go now.
Should we, I did want to ask Violet if she'd like to come with us. Should we swing by the vault?
Third time in a day? Yeah, we should swing by the vault.
Why not, right? Cool. So we'll head to the vault.
All right, so you go back out through the cellar. Ternock leads the way. Ternock closes the trap door.
Covers it with straw.
Yeah, covers it with straw. I mean, move some racks that were sort of on the corners of it. And then you guys leave the shed. Next to the shed, again, is the stables. Then there's the road. And then on the other side of the road is the vault.
All right. Is it late enough in the day now that there's someone checking weapons when we get there?
It is like between 1 and 2 p.m. at this point.
Oh, all right.
So it's up to Violet. So you cross the road. You open the front door to go into the vault.
Mm-hmm.
There's some nice music playing in the background.
Is the Minotaur out and about?
Yeah. So at this point in time, everyone's awake, and obviously Rupert was probably the first to act and kind of start cleaning up, especially where the bourbon was broken, and Violet's just. I do hate to waste good liquor, but sometimes you've got to teach people a lesson. And that's why she turns to Breck and it's like, Breck, this is important why we've got to keep checking people at the door and make sure they leave their weapons checked. We can't have this kind of ruckus here during normal hours.
What kind of accent would you like Breck to have?
Whatever you want.
Russian accent.
Sounds nice. Yeah. I made these NPCs for you, James. You know the triplets are just a bunch of like little pansexual party kids. So.
Yeah. I'm. Let me hang on. Let me do my Russian for a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Breck is a female, and she's like, no nonsense. Yeah.
I must break you. Okay. Yes, Miss Violet. I will check weapons.
Why, thank you.
And right about then, the door opens.
Oh.
You.
Back.
You.
Yeah.
Big green guy, give me weapons.
In Minotaur, I will say, is that really necessary?
Breck is extremely taken aback when she hears Minotaur.
Mm-hmm.
And she responds to you in Minotaur. Do I know you?
Not yet, but if I'm lucky, you will. And I will start pulling my weapons out of my belt and handing them over.
She takes your weapons, but she doesn't let you go that quickly because now that she knows you speak Minotaur, she starts speaking excitedly.
Fuck.
In Minotaur. No one here ever speaks it. This is amazing. You should come to my place tonight and we will have a long conversation.
Oh, well, I appreciate the offer, ma'am. Maybe some other time. I'm trying to put a expedition together.
It's just so wonderful to hear your mother tongue.
Yep, I understand lots of folks back in the Tooth speak it. We got quite a few Minotaurs out there.
Really?
Yeah.
I have never been to Tooth.
Well, if you want to ask Miss Violet if you can come with us, I'm happy to take you. But she might need you here holding things down.
I think I am probably needed here. You see, I'm very important. People come through the door, I take weapons.
And I pointedly take my last short sword off my back and extend it to her. Yeah, well, you do a damn good job of it, man.
And then she points at Redford. You, give me weapons.
Happily, ma'am. I don't really know what you guys are talking about, but it sure does sound pretty. I hand over my warhammer.
Is this all you have?
I got a couple. Yeah, there's a couple. I pull out a couple of light hammers from my belt. That's about all I carry around.
Perhaps I should frisk you.
I think you should.
Breck, we go through this just about every time. You're more than welcome to, but you've never found anything else before.
I will let you off light this time.
I really appreciate that, Breck. Thank you. And maybe remember next time, some good faith. I remember I didn't come in with extra weapons.
Ternock, you can go in.
We'll make for Miss Violet.
And
Thanks, big man.
And she sits on a stool near the door.
Hey, Miss Violet, how you doing?
Hello, Mulligan. I'm surprised. Yeah, I was overhearing that conversation. It's not many people that can speak Minotaur. Very impressive.
Well, my mom got friendly with one for a little while when I was like 6 or 7 and made him teach me a little bit. So, whatever strengthens the clan, and Minotaurs usually fit that bill, so.
Oh, yes, Mulligan. It's good to see you again.
Miss Violet, I know I've asked you a lot today for someone that just met you, but Miss Korine actually stopped me a little earlier. She wants me to head back to the Tooth to see if some of my people can help provide some food for the town. Just some supplemental stuff, nothing too major. But we'd be taking a wagon of goods back with us, and she advised protection might be in order. So I was wondering if you fancy to trek outside the walls.
Oh, well, if Korine is asking, then it must be a rather important endeavor. If she's asking for help, I'll certainly help out.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it. I figured we'd probably head out first thing in the morning.
Sure. Well, if you need a place to stay, I've got plenty of rooms, so
Yes, ma'am.
you're
I'd
more,
appreciate that.
yeah, you're more than welcome to stay the night.
Thank you.
Can I stay too?
Oh, of course. Redford, if you'd like, I know you've got your forge, but
Yeah, I usually just pass
welcome
out
to
in the
stay.
forge or make it to a bunkhouse. By the end of the night, I think I'll be. I mean, you know what? If we are going on a long trip, you got an extra room. It's probably a little more luxurious than what I'm used to. You know what I do? I think I deserve it.
Yeah. We're going to get to drink together tonight. Get ready for the trek.
So the door opens.
Treat yourself.
So the door opens, and Korine walks into the bar. Oh, everyone's here.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome. Yes.
And it looks like you've got everything cleaned up, Violet. That's good. Violet, you did an extraordinary job this morning.
Well, thank you. I couldn't have that kind of behavior in my bar. You know me.
And Mulligan, I know you're probably not used to violence like that.
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to say that sometimes when people push you, you have to push back, or they'll just walk all over you.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's a lesson I learned many years ago.
And Violet is very good at pushing back.
So I noticed.
Have you planned out your expedition?
And I look around at my new friends. I think we're all gonna head out first thing in the morning if you think you can have the wagon prepared by then.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Then I think so. Yes, ma'am.
While we're here, Korine, I know you're full of tricks, let's say. You got anything might help an old-timer, fellow old-timer on our journey?
Well, there is something I've been working on, but I think I'll send it along with Isabel, who's supposed to be stopping by here in a little while, when she's finished her work. So, Mulligan, I know there's a couple of different routes to take to the Tooth. Have you decided which one to go with?
I will pull out my map and sort of lay it out on the bar top for anyone who's gathered around to see. Well, I came this way, and I'll indicate the sort of rougher path, but I don't know if it would be suited to a wagon, so any recommendations would be welcome. Otherwise, I think we'll just have to take the roundabout way.
Now, as a scout, you would know that there are two pretty viable routes to take to the Tooth from here. Now, when you walk down by yourself, you took the long way. There are roads that existed before the rupture, and that's the way you went. In some places, dust is covering the road and you can hardly see it, but the road is there. So the long way is down original roads, and then there's a shortcut which goes through a forest in between Absolution and the Tooth. Now, if you go through the forest, it would cut probably a day off of your travel time, but you know that it's a lot more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And you will be pulling a wagon.
Right. Well, you said this isn't a major dire situation as far as getting food back, so maybe sparing an extra day to err on the side of caution would be advisable for this particular endeavor. But I will leave it to the discretion of my traveling companions, as they are the ones that will be putting themselves at risk to assist me with this.
Well,
Ternock is not looking at the map with anyone else. He's just like playing on the bar stools. Like he's so happy with whatever decision is made.
I've spent a long time traveling these roads. I think maybe it's best to play it safe. Some bad stuff can happen out there, but at the same time, we got to make it there fast. I think we got a good group to push through those woods.
Fair enough. What about you, Miss Violet? What do you think?
Certainly. I would just need to pack a few of my tools, just to be prepared. You never know what can come up out in the wastelands. And she'll go back and starts rumbling through some of her stuff, and she just starts putting stuff in a bag, getting ready.
All right. Well, What about you, Miss Korine? Got any advice on which is time of the essence here?
Oh no, I'm sure you would know better than I would.
All right.
Well, it seems like you have everything under control. I'm gonna get back to work, and you know what? Maybe I'll let Isabel off early today, or more exactly, I'll try to make her leave early.
Fair enough.
She's very dedicated.
She strikes me as a excitable kind of person.
And then Korine leaves.
I'll climb onto a bar stool kind of heavily and sort of rub at the back of my neck and look to Redford. I appreciate Miss Korine's putting stock in me, but I'm not really a tactician or anything like that. I can handle myself in a fight, but I don't go looking for them unless I need to. What do you think we should do?
Well, I think that I've lasted a long time in these plains largely by playing it safe. I think avoiding a fight out here is the best thing you can do. I think it'd be best to maybe take the long way, but yeah, we always keep our options open.
Yep. I also have to wonder with the Ickerman crew in town if they're going to be eyes on our backs when we set out.
We've got to be ready for anything out in the wastelands.
Something else to consider is that those Ickerman boys, maybe nobody else would be willing to follow us through that forest. We wanted to go through unnoticed. Seems like maybe that would be the better way to go.
That's a good point. Well, how about we just set off, and when we need to pick a direction, we'll weigh our standing then. In the meantime, however, I'm expecting company later tonight, and I'm not exactly sure I'm prepared for that either. So, Miss Violet, if you don't mind, I can pay you for this one. A strong drink would be very much appreciated.
Yes, that would be fine. Thank you. Let's do it.
I'll put down my nicest dagger on the bar top because I ain't got no money. And slide it over.
Violet takes it.
So you get maybe halfway through the drink before the door just blasts open. And Isabel comes running into the bar.
Oh, here we go.
Korine told me to leave early. Can you believe that?
King.
I was right in the middle of something.
Sorry.
She blows right past Breck, who doesn't stop her because she doesn't have any weapons. Although, Mulligan, I did need to talk to you.
Do we need to be in private for this?
Well, I want to take you somewhere.
Okay. Alright, sure. And I will chug the rest of my drink.
Alright.
And pop the tankard down on the countertop. Give Ternock sort of a out of the side of my eye sort of glance and stand up off my bar stool. Where did you have in mind, Isabel?
It's just a short walk. Don't worry.
All right. I guess we better get to it then.
Ternock gets up and tries to follow a safe distance behind them, but I am also going along.
Okay. So you leave the vault, and she takes you north. And although she's, nearly half your height, you're having trouble keeping up with her. Like you're having to walk kind of faster than your normal gait to keep up with her. She takes you to the tree, and then she turns west. And she walks through the gates outside of Absolution. Outside the gates, you see that there is a small cemetery.
Yeah.
She goes into the cemetery and goes towards the back. And there is a tombstone. And the lettering on the tombstone is glowing neon. And it's got the name of your father on it. It says Jameson Hawk in bright neon letters. I thought I should show you where we buried father.
I would have stopped probably a little farther back than she did as soon as I was able to make out the letters. Why did you need to show me this?
Before he died, Father told me all about you.
Did he now?
Yes, he did. And he gave me something to give to you after he died.
What are you talking about?
She reaches into her robes and she pulls out a small object. And it's wrapped in cloth. She opens the cloth and she shows it to you. It's a small pocket watch. This is something that they had before the rupture. Apparently it was used to tell time. Nowadays, time doesn't mean as much as it did. But before the rupture, everyone needed to know what time it was all the time. And so they had these devices, which has gears inside it. And Korine showed me how to fix it. And you can see that there are little needles on a face that are moving around. It doesn't mean anything to you, but you can see that they're moving around. Anyway, I don't know what it means exactly, but Korine says we fix it properly.
I'll step up close enough to look down at it in her hand.
On the back, and she flips it over, and you can see that there's an inscription. On the back, he had something written, and it says, "For my son." You know, Father always wished you were around. Whenever Mother wasn't around, he was always going on about you. Personally, I wish he had had the strength to stand up to her, but she was she was kind of in your face. I mean,
I can't imagine.
I loved my mother, but I can see why other people wouldn't. Anyway, he told me that he found this pocket watch from before the rupture, and it never worked. But he inscribed on the back, "For you." But Korine helped me fix it.
I reach down and take it from the cloth in her hand and sort of turn it over. Well, that's something, isn't it?
If you don't wind it every day, it'll stop.
Well, and then I will hand it back out to her. I can appreciate his gesture well enough, but it seems like you've got more invested in this than I do. And I ain't got that great of a memory anyway. I'd probably forget to wind it. So, why don't you hold on to it for now, and once I have laid down some more permanent roots in absolution, you can come over and teach me how it properly works.
I'm really glad to hear you say that. I heard you're going back to the Tooth tomorrow.
Yeah, but
are you going to come back?
I'm gonna try. I know this is the only life you've ever known, but beyond these walls, out beyond the wastes, life is hard. Most folks wonder why it's worth living some of the time, and I can weather that well as the next man, but now that I've seen I don't have to, well, there's a lot waiting for me in absolution.
Oh, I'd love to come to the Tooth with you and meet them. But
Would
I can't. But I can't. I have to do my work. I don't think you realize how important it is. But please tell me you'll come back. Please promise.
I promise I'll do my best. What's your you just charging, what did Korine call them, batteries? What's your work in there?
I wish I could tell you everything, but that's only part of what we're doing.
Really? Why don't you tell me more?
Well, if everything goes right, maybe we can save the world.